Welcome to Business English for Success. In a professional environment, making a sound decision when facing unexpected changes is a valuable part of daily leadership. It is not about having all the answers instantly, but about staying composed to evaluate the available options.
To be honest, it is quite common to feel mindful of the time when things change quickly. We all want to ensure that our choices in those moments still align with the long-term goals of the team.
Well, the good news is that daily decision-making is a skill we can refine through clear communication. Today, we will explore 4 practical scenarios to see how professional language helps maintain clarity.
I agree. We will observe how to stay focused when situations evolve and, more importantly, how to share your thoughts with confidence and a professional manner.
This approach looks at some helpful ways for any workplace situation. Let's look at our first scenario. Let's consider a scenario that often happens in the workplace. Imagine you've spent 3 weeks on a project, but a colleague informs you that due to a new regulation, a large portion of that work needs to be adjusted by tomorrow morning.
That definitely requires a quick shift in focus, Emma. In a moment like that, it's natural to be very mindful of the timeline. It's more than just a minor update. It involves reorganizing the team's efforts promptly.
To be honest, you're right, Thomas. And as a leader, your first reaction influences the mood of everyone else. Our strategy here is neutral reception. You remain professional to help the team keep their focus on the current goals.
I agree. If a manager looks overwhelmed, the team might feel less motivated. So how do we handle this with our words?
Actually, instead of focusing on the time already spent, we immediately shift the conversation to the next steps. We use phrases like, I see the situation. Let's identify what is still usable so we can move forward efficiently. Let's hear how Sophia and Oliver manage this fast-moving morning.
Oliver, I have an urgent update. The compliance department just released the new guidelines, and they require some changes to the structure we've been building.
I see. Does this mean we need to reorganize our database before the morning meeting?
It appears so. Most of our current entries need to be aligned with the new criteria. The team has been working hard, and I want to ensure we maintain our positive momentum.
I understand the situation, Sophia. It is a significant workload on short notice. However, let's focus on the path forward. Please gather the leads. We need to identify the sections that are still compliant first.
That's a good point. If we can preserve part of the work, we can stay on track. Definitely. I will handle the communication with the directors to request additional support. For now, let's stay focused on the most essential adjustments. What is the very first section we can address? The client profile section is the most manageable. I'll get the team started on that right away.
Oliver's approach was very intentional. Thomas, did you notice how he stayed professional regarding the compliance department's update?
Actually, Emma, a common response might be to complain that the timing is unfair, but as we saw, that doesn't help the team finish the work.
Right. Instead, he acknowledged the reality and moved straight to what is still usable. This is a professional way to handle a change without stopping the progress.
To be honest, it really changes the energy. By requesting additional support, instead of just asking the team for more effort, he shows he is advocating for them.
Let's practice these professional phrases. Remember to focus on a calm, steady tone. I understand the situation. It is a significant workload on short notice.
I understand the situation. It is a significant workload on short notice.
Let's identify what is still usable so we can move forward efficiently.
Let's identify what is still usable so we can move forward efficiently.
Great work. These phrases help you stay professional when situations change quickly. Oliver and Sophia have a plan, but a new task is about to begin. They are entering a meeting with other department heads who are also managing these changes.
You know, those meetings can be quite intense when everyone is focused on their own department's priorities, Emma.
Actually, yes. How do you maintain your professional standing when people start to shift the responsibility?
To be honest, that's what we'll cover next. I'll share a technique for diplomatic directness that helps you stay firm and professional. You'll see how to keep the meeting moving toward a solution.
Let's see what happens in the departmental meeting. Now we move into a very important part of the day, the departmental meeting. This is where everyone is concerned about the project timeline and how it affects their own workload.
Actually, I've been in those meetings, Emma. Often, people become very protective of their progress, and the atmosphere can feel a bit complex.
To be honest, that's why our strategy here is solution-oriented diplomacy. As a leader, your role is to guide the team away from focusing on past mistakes and redirect the energy toward a shared resolution.
So instead of discussing why the guidelines changed, we focus on how to move forward together?
You're right. Well, we use phrases that bridge the gap between departments, but before we hear the professional way, let's listen to a version where things don't go as planned because of unsuitable word choices.
Oliver, your team is not meeting the schedule. This new compliance matter is making things much more difficult for my department.
Well, Sophia, it's not my responsibility that the regulations changed. Your team should have monitored the updates sooner. Now we are all facing a new adjustment.
That felt quite tense, didn't it? Thomas, why was that approach ineffective?
Actually, that interaction was less effective because it focused on individual accountability in a way that creates distance. Phrases like, "It's not my responsibility," or "you should have," often make others feel the need to be defensive rather than collaborative.
Thank you, everyone, for joining on such short notice. As we know, the new compliance requirements mean we need to adjust our current workflow.
I understand the urgency, Sophia. From the technical side, we've identified the parts that are still valid. However, we will need to coordinate with the data team to finish this by morning.
I see your point, Oliver. While this is a new requirement for all of us, let's focus on our shared goal. What specific support do you need from my team to move the process forward?
If your team can prioritize the verification of the client profiles, my team can handle the system integration. This approach will save us several hours.
That is a practical suggestion. Let's commit to this plan. I will reassign 2 of my senior analysts to assist you right after this meeting.
That was much more productive. Thomas, what was the key phrase that improved the energy in the room?
To be honest, it was when Sophia said, "Let's focus on our shared goal." It reminded everyone that they are on the same team.
I agree. And Oliver's response was very professional too. He didn't say, "I need more people." He used the word coordinate. It sounds much more professional and balanced. Let's practice these 2 leadership phrases. Focus on a calm and inviting tone. While this is an unplanned shift, let's focus on our shared goal.
While this is an unexpected change, let's focus on our shared goal.
What specific support do you need from my team to move the process forward?
What specific support do you need from my team to move the process forward?
Well done. Using we and our instead of I and you makes a significant difference in leadership communication. The meeting was productive and the plan is set. However, Sophia and Oliver now have to share this update with their team members who have already worked a full day.
That can be a sensitive moment, Emma. Managing morale when the team is tired is a true test of leadership.
Actually, it is. In the next part, we'll explore how to deliver this news without sounding like a boss, but acting like a leader who supports the team.
I'll also share an effective method for giving feedback that keeps motivation high. You will find this very useful for your leadership journey.
Let's see how they handle the team briefing in our next scenario. After the meeting, it's time for a very important task: talking to your team. They have worked hard all day, and now you need to share the update regarding the additional adjustments.
That requires a very mindful approach, Emma. To be honest, if a leader just gives instructions without acknowledging the effort already spent, the team might feel unappreciated.
Actually, you're right, Thomas. That's why we use the empathy plus clarity strategy. You acknowledge their dedication first, show that you understand the current situation, but stay clear about why these next steps are necessary for our quality standards.
So we aren't just asking for more work. We are saying, I see your effort, and here is how we will move forward together.
Well said. Before the actual conversation, let's listen to what is going through Sophia's mind as she approaches her team.
I can see they have been focused since early morning. If I just announce the updates, it might affect the team's momentum. I need to be supportive while ensuring we meet our collective goals. Hi, everyone. Can I have your attention for a moment? I've just come from the coordination meeting regarding the new compliance guidelines.
To be honest, Sophia, we've already finalized the client profiles. Are we looking at more changes? It's been a very long morning for everyone.
I completely understand, Marcus. I know how much energy everyone has put into this project over the last month, and I truly value that dedication. It is not ideal to face these adjustments right now.
So, what is the plan? Do we have to reorganize everything?
Not everything. Actually, I've worked with the technical department to identify only the necessary sections. We are focusing only on the profile verification to ensure we maintain our standards. I've also arranged for additional support for tomorrow morning to assist with the final integration.
Okay. If we are only focusing on those specific parts, it seems more manageable.
Thank you for your flexibility. Let's finish this together, and I will ensure everyone has time to recharge once this is submitted.
Thomas, did you notice how Sophia was honest about the situation? She admitted it wasn't an ideal time for changes.
Actually, Emma, that's very authentic. Professionals appreciate sincerity. By saying, I truly value that dedication, she made the team feel recognized.
I agree. She used the phrase arranged for additional support instead of just focusing on the workload. It shows she was advocating for the team's needs during the meeting. Let's practice 2 phrases that show empathy while maintaining a professional direction. I completely understand. I truly value the energy you've put into this.
I completely understand. I truly value the energy you've put into this.
It is not ideal to face these adjustments now, but let's finish this together.
It is not ideal to face these adjustments now, but let's finish this together.
Great job. These words help build a culture of mutual respect in the workplace. The team is moving forward and the work is being finalized, but there is one last step. Sophia has to present the final outcome to the board of directors.
Well, that's where you show that all this effort was meaningful. Using the right language in front of the directors is essential for the team's reputation.
To be honest, you're right. How do you present an emerging situation as a successful adjustment? How do you maintain a confident tone at the end of a long day?
We'll look at the executive summary approach in our final situation. It's a very helpful technique for professional growth.
Let's see how Sophia concludes this journey. We have arrived at the final stage of this productive day. Sophia now stands before the board of directors. The goal here is not to explain every detail of the work, but to present a clear outcome.
Actually, this is where many people feel a bit uncertain, Emma. They often talk too much about the process because they want to demonstrate their effort.
To be honest, that's a very common mistake, Thomas. However, senior leaders value brevity and clarity. Our strategy is to start with the conclusion. You state the final decision and the impact immediately.
I see. So instead of a long story, we give them the main point first so they can see that the situation is well managed.
You're right. It's about showing that even during a busy schedule, you can make a firm choice. Let's hear how Sophia concludes the project with the director.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your time. I would like to provide an update on the project status following the new compliance guidelines.
Go ahead, Sophia. We are aware of the changes. How has the team adjusted?
We have successfully integrated the new requirements into our database. By focusing our resources on the client profile verification, we managed to meet all criteria within the original timeline.
That is good to hear. Were there any significant adjustments to the final output?
The core structure remains solid. While we had to reallocate some tasks, the final product is now fully compliant and ready for launch tomorrow morning.
I appreciate the efficient turnaround, Sophia. It shows great coordination between the departments.
Thank you. I've already scheduled a brief review for the team to ensure we maintain this standard for future updates. Everything is moving forward as planned.
Sophia was very direct there. Thomas, did you notice how she used the phrase successfully integrated?
Actually, Emma, she didn't mention how many hours the team worked. She focused on the fact that it is fully compliant and ready for launch.
To be honest, you're right. Directors don't need to hear about the difficulties from the morning if they are already resolved. They need to know the current status. She used reallocate tasks instead of mentioning working late, which sounds much more professional.
Well, I see what you mean. It changes the narrative from coping with a change to managing a project effectively.
Let's practice these 2 executive-level phrases. Focus on a steady and confident tone. We have successfully integrated the new requirements into our database. We have successfully integrated the new requirements into our database. By focusing our resources, we managed to meet all criteria within the original timeline. By focusing our resources, we managed to meet all criteria within the original timeline. Excellent work. You are speaking with the tone of a confident professional. Sophia has finished her day successfully, but our journey isn't over yet. We still have a very useful part of this video for your daily practice.
That's right. We are about to enter the final shadowing session, where we combine the best phrases from all 4 situations into one continuous practice.
Actually, this is the part that many of our regular viewers use during their daily routine, because it helps lock these phrases into your long-term memory.
And before we wrap up, we'll also have a quick recap where Emma and I share our favorite leadership phrase of the day.
Let's move to the recap and final practice. We have seen Sophia and Oliver navigate a very demanding day. Thomas, if you had to pick just one takeaway for our viewers, what would it be?
To be honest, Emma, I think it's the shift from reacting to responding. Instead of letting the situation dictate their words, they chose phrases that invited collaboration.
I agree. Actually, my favorite phrase was, let's identify what is still usable. It's such a practical way to keep the team moving forward when things feel a bit challenging.
That's a great one. And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had to adjust a project on short notice? How did you handle that conversation with your team?
Please share your experience in the comments. It's a wonderful way for all of us to learn from each other's professional journeys.
Now we have reached a very helpful part of today's session, the final shadowing. This is your time to practice these leadership phrases so they become natural to you. Please speak out loud after us.
Well, don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on the flow and the professional tone. Let's begin.
I appreciate the update. Let's look at how this affects our timeline.
I appreciate the update. Let's look at how this affects our timeline.
Very good. You sound very composed. I understand the concern. It is a significant workload on short notice.
I understand the concern. It is a significant workload on short notice.
Well done. That's an effective way to show empathy. While this is an unforeseen task, let's focus on our shared goal.
While this is an unexpected challenge, let's focus on our shared goal.
You're doing great. You are guiding the conversation now. I truly value the energy you've put into this project.
I truly value the energy you've put into this project.
Excellent. That is how you support a team. We have successfully integrated the new requirements into our database.
We have successfully integrated the new requirements into our database.
Well done. That sounds very professional. You've done a great job today. Remember, professional growth is a journey of small, consistent steps. Using the right words is a significant part of that.
It really is. Thank you for practicing with us. If you found this helpful, feel free to share this with a colleague who might find it useful.
We look forward to seeing you in our next video, where we will explore how to handle constructive feedback with confidence.
See you next time.
Goodbye for now.